There are a lot of love letters to Dragon Age Origins out there, but one thing that I've noticed is that whenever someone wants to give Origins its flowers, the footage that they use is almost always just them watching cutscenes and picking dialogue options. What about the combat? I know Bioware is largely seen as a story-focused studio, and there are plenty of videos showing how that's changed over the years. But I personally have always seen Bioware as a combat/controller optimization specialist. They've always been the best at taking complex gameplay mechanics and actually putting in the effort to make it playable on a controller and make it feel good. So in this video, I want to go through the initial combat scenario in every modern Bioware game in chronological order, and I want to see which modern Bioware game gives the best first impression based on the bones of the combat. And I want to show chronologically how these games have progressed and how they're all related to each other. As a bonus objective, I want to try to make my character look as similar to myself as I can, using the options available in the character creator to show how that has progressed over time. I'm not going to yap at you the whole time. I kind of want to let the games speak for themselves, but I will chime in if there's anything that I want to highlight. This is all vanilla footage, no mods, played with a controller, and I've edited everything down to just the combat. One of the things that you'll notice as we go through these games is that there's a loosening of the RPG element within the combat. And what I mean when I say that is that the events within the combat become more dependent on actions and less dependent on words. I don't think that's a bad thing, but I'll point out examples as we see them. I hope you enjoyed this journey through time.
Just here for the beacon. He's also here to evaluate you.
Since when do we answer to the Spectres?
You're smart enough.
As you can tell by the enormous target reticule, your ability to hit things is largely dependent on the stats of your weapon. Being better at aiming than I am helps, but only so much. One thing that I noticed is that you don't really avoid damage in this game. If an enemy successfully targets you in an attack, you get hit. Accuracy and evasion are stats, aka words, and not actions. But it's amazing that anything like this made it to the Xbox 360 in the first place. Most games like this would have been PC only. I assume that by this point, Bioware realized that missing all of your shots isn't fun, so they really reeled in the initial accuracy of the guns in this game.
We'll take the bastards down with us.
Everyone in Dragon Age 2 appeared to be on cocaine. The animations for everything are very fast. A couple of things that immediately stood out to me are you can just move out of the way of attacks and they won't hit you. Your staff swings have haptic feedback, and that immediately made things more immersive for me. Not a huge departure from Mass Effect 2, but it definitely feels like they're trying to get you more comfortable with moving around the battlefield. But this radio menu just keeps popping up. The radio menu is the soul of Bioware's combat. If you think it's something else, you're wrong. The radio menu makes everything possible. You can tell your squad where to go, what to do, who to hit, from your perspective as the commander on the battlefield. You don't need a top-down view. This is inline tactics. Inquisition kind of feels like Dragon Age 2's combat at the speed of Origins combat. And I don't feel like that's a great combination. A lot of the weight is missing from your attacks in this game. I really feel like I was whooping some ass in Dragon Age 2. Here, not so much. Andromeda gives you a huge upgrade to your mobility. You can jump, double jump, dash, air dash, hover shoot, cast abilities in midair, and still do the cover stuff when you need to. The movement in Anthem is unparalleled, but it really is just an extension of the movement that you see in Andromeda. It's hard to articulate how good all of this feels in the hand. The transition from ground to aerial combat is so seamless that you completely forget that no other game has been able to replicate this experience. Imagine if they took all the vehicle stuff in Mass Effect 5 and replaced it with Anthem's flying mechanic. So instead of driving around in this janky ATV, you're just flying. I'd buy that. The bones of the combat in Veilguard are much meatier. The amount of actions that you immediately have access to completely dwarfs previous titles. Also, it truly feels like the descendant of all of the games that preceded it. You see bits and pieces of every game that I've shown here reflected in this one. And it provides the same single-player, radial menu, inline tactical system that Anthem shied away from. A return to form, if you will. I hope you enjoyed witnessing the evolution of Bioware's combat. Which game is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.